All right, so we started. Start again. So through the Avodah Birudim, so we elevate, we refine the world. Like the Rebbe Teich, that means that through the Avodah of Kesher, of connection, we make the Kedesh.
The Friedker Rebbe was my Kesher was more like being bound up with Olam Hazeh, no? That's what it seemed like in ICF.
He doesn't elaborate, I don't think. I think the Rebbe teaches it.
Okay.
So through the avodah of kesher, of connection, we make the kedesh, which that means v'hainu, the kesher, the olam. They're not clear here, but the kesher means not. Night. Here he says. Again, I'm just using the Rebbe's touch later. Behind the kesher, the olam, through doing the avodah of kesher with the world. He's not touching the word kesher. What's coming now is the touch of the word olam. The marsha olam, maras atzmi, the mitzias. The mitzias, the fact that the world shows itself as a mitzias, how do they say sheker? That's a sheker. Right? So, the world is a sheker. So, the avodah of kesher, in a kasher loimdim, toirim, mekayim, besam mitzvahs, which is kesher connection, nishapich lekeresh. Then we turn the sheker into a kedesh, into a board, into a pillar, kedesh le mishkan, a board for the mishkan. All of them, abos the mitzvah shechanti b'sechem. You understand how I've been teaching it like this now because seeing how the Rebbe explains it later. Mm-hmm. In the words, it's difficult to see a little bit. Shumatzei shittim oimdim. So, what's the base? The mishkan is made from these atzei shittim, these pillars that are standing. The point being, a pillar that's connects the upper and lower, with the world. As explained earlier at length in the previous ifim. Okay, page Chafei. Since the Avodah is that we have to affect the world, that it shouldn't be the way its natural state is, which is a lie. What's the big lie of the world?
Concealment.
That I'm independent. No greater lie than that. We should turn that into a very board of the Mishkan. Here's the brackets which the Rebbe adds in explanation, which I used to explain the Oisias of the Frierdiker Rebbe. Shin ze naseh de kesher. That this is brought about through the avodah of kesher, of nothing. Shemekashem is a sheker olam, that we connect the lie of the world with the true existence above, as it was explained yesterday, that the I am, which only exists in Olam Hazeh, is a corruption of the true I am of the Eibishter himself, of Atzmos.
So kesher is good. Before we used to say it was.
So we're connecting. That's the avodah of kesher. We're connecting these two extremes.
So
The mitzias of what?
It's good. I mean, it's not like checker.
No, it's good. That's it. The word kesher means the avodah by which we turn the sheker into keresh. That's how the Rebbe is teaching it.
I thought it was always the other way.
Huh?
I was used to think that the kesher was
Negative.
Yeah.
No, kesher means tied up, connected. That's the omud. It connects the upper and the lower.
Keresh is the other, yeah.
Well, we're connecting upper and lower, so we make the omud. How do you move on? So we're in mid-sentence here, mid-thought. Since we have to do what? We have to do it, transform the lie of the world and make it a reflection of the ultimate truth. That the ultimate lie, the absolute lie, should be a reflection of the absolute truth. How do you move on? So we've got to change the reality on the ground. So now the Rebbe Marash. Let's see. When the matter is as follows, as the Marash explains, in the Maimodim that he said after the birth and the bris of the Fidik Rebbe, of his grandson, in Tafresh Mem, Pirush Maimer Azal, explaining what the Gemara says in Saita, the end of Saita. Alma Maikoyim, what the world upon what does it exist? Asks the Gemara. The Gemara offers several answers. One of them is Ayeheshmi Rabbe Dagadata. The Kaddish that is said after learning Agadata. Agadata is the Midrashim in the Gemara. So that's what the Gemara answered. That's one of the schusim, one of the merits upon which the world endures, that which the world couldn't endure. Tzarech lahavin. So he asks, what is his question? Alma maikoyu. The world upon what does exist? The world comes into being in all of creation through the constant word of Hashem. In such a way, in such a way that in His goodness, even used every day continuously, the works of creation. He asks, if so, therefore it would appear that there's no room to ask. The world upon what does it exist? So he's asking, what's the Gemara asking? The Rebbe then he answers, so the Gemara there says as follows, the end of Saita there. Once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, each and every day, the curse is greater than the day before. The curses increase. Now, since the Gemara made that observation, then comes the Gemara's question, therefore. And therefore the Gemara continues, if so, how does the world exist? What's the Shaila? Hainu, meaning, notwithstanding Taka, that in His goodness He renews creation constantly, that's true. Still, since we're destroying the world daily, increasingly, the curses are greater. How does the world exist? That it should remain. Tekuma means,
Standing, no?
yeah, remain standing. It invokes the impression that Oretz it could be, but Tekuma, and how does the world stand? Like in a boxing ring, he's still there, but he's out for the count. So how is it that the world is still standing? Tekuma meaning to say, what? Yeah, what does it mean, upright? Upright means any virtue left of the world. It means by Tekuma. It's a megashmis that exists. But Tekuma, standing upright, virtuous, that seems to be the Shaila. And therefore the Gemara is answering that what's required is the Kaddish that is said after a Jew learns, with a minion obviously, Agadata. What is the deeper meaning of the Gemara's answer? Shmei Rabba, B'china Shmei Agada. So Yeheshma, what do we say? May His great name be magnified, so on, and blessed. So what is great name as opposed to ordinary name of Hashem? So Shmei Rabba, B'china Shmei Agadol. His great name, it means His great name, Shmei Agadol, Shalamaydim Zayen Shemishin Nimchakim, which is higher than the classic names, which are the 7 names, which are not erased, which we learned earlier. At what level? What are the Zayin Shem Hashem Nimchakim there? The level of what? Friends, the whole arichas of the Mittler Rebbe, so to make us understand that. What's that level? Not Shem Tzivokis, but the other Shemas. Give me a word. Give me a technical word. What level is it? Atzilus. That's the Zayen Shemas. But here we're speaking about what? Shemaya Godel was the whole arichas of the Rebbe invoking the Mittler Rebbe to explain the question of the Friedrich Rebbe. Why are Yidden called Tzivis Hashem? There's a whole arichas and what Shem Tzvakis is, and Hashem Tzvakis is Biyah, and the other Shemas are Atzilus, and this was a day of Atzilus, where they lived on the level of all is one with God and no need for the Avodas HaNeviim to Mamshich Darim Biyah. So why Shem Tzvakis? And the answer we learned. We got the answer that already. At least we're going to revisit it. Yeah, we'll have more later. Okay, so we're not going to include the answer, but that was the whole beer. But here we're speaking not Zayin Shemesh Ein Nimchakim at Shmoya Godel. And what is that? Shalamayim HaZayin Shemesh Ein Nimchakim. This is higher than the seven names. This is higher than Atzilus, meaning Doyer in Sof. And what's Agadata? The stories of the Torah, of the Gemara, the production of the Psukim, not halacha. It's everything which is not halacha, basically. What it is, therein contained are the secrets of Pnimis HaTorah. And 94, we're going to take us to Tanya. The Rebbe says those famous words, that the majority of the secrets of the Torah are hidden in the so-called stories and Perushim of the Psukim found in the Agadata, which in the yeshivas are glossed over largely, because they're not halacha, and there's no machlekes there, and so on, and arguments.
It's less challenging to figure out what's going on.
Sometimes it's more challenging, but it on the surface less depth. Taich and a pasuk, a story, but the emes is there's greater depth there. As he explains at length, the Rebbe Marash in the Hemshech. Okay, so what's the answer? The answer is Chassidus Pnimis HaTorah. That gives the world tkuma, stature. Let's continue. Moisef Oid Nekuda Bazen. He adds another Nekuda, the Rebbe Marash, which is where I think Rebbe wants to go, because he started saying that the world's got to change, and this is the changing point. As the Gemara describes, that since the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, the Gemara is saying that one day, there's not one day that isn't have more curses than the day previous. Oi! Ay. Forgot to. Apologies, folks. Okay, for those that they would have given up not watching anywhere anyway.
What is the shame?
Be they heard anyway.
What name is it?
But it's on the thing.
Which is the shame of God? Which one? What name is it? Shame of God, right?
Could be, but it's in Shem Havai. There's two levels. Hashem, the higher one. So, where are we? So since every day there is not one day, there's not more cursed than the one, then it's the previous one. Hu Metzias Ba'olam. That's a fact in the world. So the Marash adds, so these are the words. This is the nekuda of this ois here, is the need for change. How do we change it? So the Rebbe Marash introduces and explains in the previous chapter, the Perek Samach, of the Hemshech, the Indian that the Gemara says, the Oir Torah Mechayeyo, that what will revive a Jew at the time of Tchias HaMesim, Oir Torah. If I recall correctly, there is, as opposed to Stam Torah, there has to be of Oir Torah. Tal Torah Mechayeyo, and elsewhere it says, in Medrash, that it's the dew of Torah that will enliven the Jew, by which Hashem will enliven Yidden by Tchias HaMesim. What does it mean? Pirish Mechayeyu, who's being enlivened? Hain the Beguf, the body, Gam Be'lam Hazeh, even it'll be in this world. As we live on the face of the earth. So for that you need to have Torah, not Stam Torah, but Torah Oir. In the Torah Oir, you need Torah Oir as it is illuminates Sheyum Shecha Oir Ad Lamata, that it should be drawn down, all the way down. Kfi sheroyim, as we see, you can't compare the countenance, the luminous countenance of a person who is a Baal Torah, as opposed to someone who isn't. There is a refinement and a translucence about the person's demeanor, face and conduct, which goes of a Rambam. Rambam writes in Hilchos Deis, the laws that govern proper character, conduct, for the way a person walks and his movements, you can tell what he is on the inside from his gestures. That's because the light of his Torah Avodah Me'ira illuminates Ad Lamata B'Gufa Adam, all the way down and embracing and illuminating the body. The point being, it's got to be in such a way that it affects a change in the world. And that could be, we could suggest also, maybe it says that that's the idea of Tal Torah, the dew of Torah. What's the dew of Torah? What's dew got to do with anything? Why this metaphor? Because dew comes from below, talking about change down here. Huh?
Doesn't dew come from upstairs? The other way, rain comes from
No,
down
Tal.
here. Tal's from upstairs.
Tal Loy Meyatzer. It's always present. You're right. But where is it? Comes from below, granted below. What are you shaking with your head? The dew is
that was from up and the rain.
I just said it's granted, but where is it granted to? Below. Here. Huh?
It rises. Dew
In
rises.
general, we're seeing Tal.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
You're seeing Tal in general, you're seeing Tal compared to rain.
Yeah. Well, rain originates up there. The whole thing appears down here. The whole thing is
Dew
Lamata.
rises. Rain falls.
Rain comes down and dew appears down here.
Exactly.
Hakopanim, you don't have to. Huh?
Other Maimer explained it with it.
The other Maimorim, it speaks that rain is because the Avodah Samata, so the Latata, and dew comes, so the Leila. Okay? That's that I mentioned too. That's also true. Torah comes from above, Tal Torah. But where is it coming? The Tal dimension is, where is it coming to? Down here. It appears down here. I mean, if you want to take this further, the halacha, for example, in Torah, is dafka down here. Torah comes from above, but when there's a conflict between heaven and earth, and Bez and Shemata, it's dafka down here. That's the end of Tal Torah. But that's not the point here. The point here is, well, it is. The point is to change the mitzias of the world. So what is the Avodah? B'sheked, the Metzias Olam Hatzah. We have to engage the life, the world itself. The Shanis is Metzias Olam. Change it, v'lifel b'yakesher, Metzias Amitis D'Lamayla, and affect a bond with the true Metzias, the true entity, Achenas HaKeresh, Shebay Nifel Iyin V'shachanti B'Seicham, till it becomes integral to making the dwelling place for Hashem. So, what did he just do here now? So what did Rebbe Marash add to that which we hadn't learned until now? Anybody? One word. Changing the world. And what's the vote of the Rebbe Marash? And how do we do that?
Or to turn it. Sheesh Me'Abba, they got it.
Yesh Merabba da Gadata, you need Pnimius HaTorah.
That's what's called Torah.
And yeah. All right. And then they had the Eid Nukuda, that it's got to come down where to? The Chacham and the way he walks and speaks and so on, all his snuas, all his
Character.
expressions have to reflect the Torah. All right.
Very nice. Fine.
What?
Making kasher. Just saying yesh to a kasher amiti, which is
Yeah. Oh, so there's much more now in Tzova. Let's see. Zayen b'mayim, and the Maimon concludes, Alochen yikrayim Yisrael b'shem tzivus havayim. Therefore, you don't call tzivus havayim shem megali mamshichim gilui havayim. Because Yidin through Avodah mamshich gilui havayim, the highest level of Shem havayim. Tzova usman mugbal. And Tzova means in the three taichin, one of them is set time. The chol avidosam asher ba'yom yisoru. All of the days which are formed, shenitna kol echad ve'echad, given to each one. Yeah, here teaches it. Yeh loy echad, should be unto him one. Sheyor v'yizgala devidosai, that he should reveal through his avodah b'chinas havaya echad. We'd said loy echad means that each and every day. Two. But here the echad means that we mamshir the echad in each and every day. Right, now further detail in this Maila. Explained that earlier. This Mamshech the Pella, or I didn't say the word Pella, but his Mamshech higher than Ishtalshalus in Ishtalshalus. V'yesh levaya diek the tzavos man mugbal davke. Now his Rebbe is going to address the Loshen that he says, that Friedrich Rebbe, that one of the meaning of the word tzava, as in alei tzva, le'enesh alei aretz, is man mugbal davke, limited time, no, and which time is not limited. Rebbe will explain. There are higher levels of time which are not hardcore limited, hardcore finite. In the Rotze V'Shuv, the perpetual state of Rotze V'Shuv. Right, the Malachim, the Shamas that go out, as it were, ascend, V'Shuv, and return. So there you have what? An inyan of time. Here is Rotze and here is Shuv, but it's a perpetual time. There's a notion of perpetual time. Well, B'Shorsha, in the source of it, we encountered this a few Mamorim ago, who Inyan is the Inyan is brought down in Kabbalah, rooted in Zoya, Moti, Veloy Moti, which means, remember the simple translation, touching and not touching. So there is this connection with limitation, but not grounded, literally. This means to say, we'll see further, what the Maimon says, a person can live in the Ilam Hazah, so obviously he's living in time, but he's not really living in time. He's not really living in the vicissitudes and changes of the world out there. He has his routine, he's predictable as a clock. Same thing over and over again. Good thing. But that's not bringing a likus to Zman Mugbal. Appears that's the vodity. Let's see. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, the Maimer is the precise language here. Shetzov, says the Friedrich Rebbe, Shetzov was Zman Mugbal. It's got to be Zman Mugbal because Akesher v'Ashaychus Shel Tzova. In Minyan HaZman, the connection with Tzova and with the notion of time, Mitzad HaGbolish Bin HaZman. What we're talking about is not time on some more, ethereal level, but we mean tzava all the way down in the Hagabala dimension of Zaman. As he brings earlier in the Maimarai Mashakosov, there is time, is there not a time, a set time for a person upon the world? That's really limited because it's over. Pasuk Pashat means a person leaves the world. So that's not like Rotzev Yeshuv, things perpetuating over and over again in time. It's time at its most limited level. It's over. Finished. I'm just going to throw this in. It could, one of the taicha of the word, I don't know what's coming at all. I didn't learn further. My apologies, which I should have. At any rate, one of the taichas of tzava is a soldier. Tzva, troops. And he's got to be ready for the ultimate sacrifice. Pochet Kipshuta, where it's over. Since we're mentioning it, I'm going to tell you a story. I don't think you guys have heard this, a story. It's Avod from Rabbi Moishe, and we're talking about a soldier and being over. So Rabbi Moishe, I heard this from Rabbi Yoel, would say, or did say, that what is the true chassid? So he would say like this, that in the Kaiser, the king, would be traveling with his army. I told you the story.
I think I've heard
The bridge, and come to a river. There's no time to build a bridge. He's got to go across. So one soldier goes in, drowns at the bottom of the river, and another one. How many rows they need? And the Kaiser puts his boot in the back of the top soldier and walks across. So Bencha would say that the true chas is the guy at the bottom of the murky depths. Why? Because he doesn't even know whether he did it. Someone else going to do it. It could be his whole sacrifice is in vain. He doesn't even have the satisfaction of knowing that he died and the king's going to get out to walk across. That's the emes of chassid. Quite the level. Quite the level, my friends. We can say we can repeat these stories. This is coming from Jews who lived in under the communist boot and were ready, and some did, give up their last drop of blood and disappeared, and did not even knowing that the sacrifice actually made a difference. Somebody else knew about it, was inspired. Was there a chain reaction? That not aware and didn't surrender, didn't divulge information, and just disappeared. So this is the Maimer goes on to say, the Frierdiker Rebbe, Shebizman Mugbul Zeh, this very limited time, we're talking it down here in its limitations to the point of things being over even. In the days that are allotted to each person, we have to affect, as the pasuk says, loy echad. As you said before, sheyoyed v'izgala b'chinas Hashem echad. Yuvan zeh, now the Rebbe Rashab, Pimash mevayich hakad mum Rashab, Nishma said, as the Rebbe Rashab, as I told you, the Rebbe would refer to the Rebbe Rashab simply as the Rebbe Nishmas Eden. The Rebbe, his soul in Eden. Usually that's the term that you refer to the previous Rebbe, however that is. But for the Rebbe, the previous Rebbe was Nasi Darein. And so who was the previous Rebbe? The Rebbe Rashab. So Chassidim also, just imitating the Rebbe's words, would call the Rebbe Rashab the Rebbe Nishmas Eden, or the Rebbe Rashab. So there, he writes, beginning with the words that all the nations of the world should know, Sheperusha in brackets, Rebbe, Shegam ba'am be'oretz. This looks like this is a touch from the Rebbe Rashab.
40 years from Yud Shvat,
What?
It's pretty quote from the Rebbe Rashab said 40 years from
All right, so, Perusha, the meaning of a Yedaita, he says there that even the nations of the world should be inyan hashvira, breaking, v'das and meloshen shvira, and Das, which usually means, conventionally means to know, but also means to break. And he sends us to the Maimer there. I don't have to see any source for that. I don't know. Huh? Not but a source in Chazal. The Maimer can say it. A source in Chazal. Huh? He brings there. So let's find it. The Avodah is Bnei Yisrael binyan the Vayolikim. How do Yidden break the klip? In other words, so this is the Avodah of Yidden of Avaya Holikim, of drawing down Avaya into nature. Kamshach HaKosev, the Pasuk goes on to say that what's the natures of the world? No, Kashem Holikim. At any rate, what this is in brackets. The main point he wants to lead to, it's a critical bracket because it's all part of what we're talking about. So binyan ein aroich, so we say in Tfilas Shachris, right before Krishma, ein arich l'Hashem v'lekein be'olam hazeh. There's no comparison to you, Hashem our Lord, be'olam hazeh, in this world. So we have to get the description straight. How does it go? So we say there's no comparison to you in this world. Then we say, there's nothing other than you in the life of the world to come. Nothing compared to you. So let's just get the English here, and just the first one is nothing incomparable to you. The next one is
nothing but you.
Nothing aside from you. And the third one is that goes that goes together. You could count it as the third or the fourth. There's nothing similar to you. So he says, the way do we use the expression ein aroich, incomparable? So that not in the higher worlds, because in the higher worlds there's the glory, there's divinity. It's dafken dilam hazeh that the true ein aroich, the incomparability is manifest. Vayal zeh my Rambam. So he brings here from the Rambam from Hilchas Yisrael that Torah. It's a murder in the Vuchim. Sorry. Those things, those entities that have a limit, Hainogashim, meaning physical things, to say that ein mispalahem, that there's endless numbers of them, who sheker is a lie. Sheyev shaliyesh yesh miyesh adin shir. You cannot have physical entities endlessly, Beifin Shalin Sof. Why not? Just by the way, I'm not sure the reasoning he gives there, but why can't you have endless physical things? Because there's no place for anything. There'd be no space. There'd be no space. If there was endless physical things. So if something comes from something else, they can't be produced endlessly. So we have to say that it's not an endless something producing something else, but there's a beginning. It starts from the beginning. It's similar to the whole Big Bang, which is relatively new. Meaning to say there was a beginning is one of the big proofs is that the universe is expanding. So the fact that it's expanding means there has to be a starting point. Because it was forever expanding, in the end, the same simple thing, there'd be no room. Or so what are other consequences? Can't be forever expanding. Must be expanding from other consequences that are not untenable with the reality in which we live. So there must be that there's a starting point. So we have to say it starts from nothingness. Not things always were and keep on reproducing. Esh miyash. So we have to say that the yesh starts from a place where it didn't exist at all, fundamentally. That's what ein aroich means. Ein aroich doesn't mean something else, a yesh, incomparable. It is comparable. If it's another yesh, it's comparable. So ein arich means it's bechlal not a metzius of yesh. So he continues that Barashab Aval Misab Sa'ir La Yinu Yodim Shein Arich. But if creation would be not from the Eibishter himself, Atzmus directly, but from the Oir of the Eibishter, we would not know the Inyan of Ein Arich, and we would think Shezeh B'derech Ercha. This Mr. Shem will continue tomorrow. Okay, we'll see that. See that tomorrow.
Have a good day, Yankee.